Veteran is the title of the film. In 2015, this film came out. Officer Seo-do is full of joy. Unfortunately, his department views him as a failure. Reason being, he has never dealt with a major case before. A long time has passed since he was promoted, but he's still well respected by his colleagues, due to the fact that he has served his country honorably. Even at home, Seo-do's wife is furious with him for his failure, just like in the office. Still, Seo-do is really kind-hearted. He keeps helping everyone, because of which he has no shortage of friends and loves. So one day, he hears from his truck driver acquaintance that some automobiles are being exported to foreign countries using containers. So Seo-do and his boss Samuel with their team formulated a plan. A guy named Sang-woo offers pricey cars to his customers, and then they change the number plate and registration, then sell to the Russian importer. Seo-do goes there as a customer and buys a Mercedes from him. The next day, Sang-woo steals that automobile from the parking lot. Of course, the police are watching him. So when the automobile is brought to the workshop to update the number plate, Seo-do comes out of the boot. Seo-do competes with him quite coolly. And through Sang-woo, he also catches the Russian customer, who buys a stolen car from Sang-woo and brings it to Russia. So as intended, the whole department is thrilled. Seo-do never forgets to thank his informant, Oliver, and with a lot of affection, he offers his son money for chocolate, because he knows that Oliver is an honest man who will never take money from him. Seo-do offers Oliver his visiting card and encourages him to call him whenever he needs anything. The next day, Oliver finds out that his truck contractor has fired all those people who had joined the truck union. Not only that, but he didn't even pay their amount. So suddenly, all those drivers make a commotion in front of the contractor's office. Oliver also doesn't want to quit his money. He waits for the contractor, Leon, till night. When Leon comes to steal at night, Oliver begs him for his money. Leon tells Oliver that he can't do anything. The company for which Oliver used to run his vehicle on the contract, he has gotten orders from the company named Seung-wan. So he went to ask for his money from them. Seung-wan is a very big global firm whose owner is Leon. Paul, who is already in financial difficulty. Magruder Paul is not scared about anything because his reach is up. So here, when Oliver phones Seo-do for help, Seo-do does not pick up the phone since he's involved in a party. Actually, Seo-do called a director. I helped a lot for the subject of his serial, whose launching party it is. So the director has carefully invited Seo-do, because a lot of big shot individuals are going to come to his party. And one of those big shots is Lucas. Lucas is the same Sinjin's owner, Paul. Lucas is not just exceedingly impolite, but also a lunatic type of boy. Insulting and pestering people is his pastime. He perceives every individual around him as a shoe for his feet. He enjoys hurting people. So in the party of those big shots, Lucas raises a scene. No one can say anything to that crooked Nawab. Everyone stays quiet. But Seo-do explains to Lucas, Seo-do is told to stay away from that crooked Nawab. Neither friendship nor animosity with rich people. Here Lucas is anxious about his family problem, because he is the son of Paul's second marriage. So the children of the first marriage are dominating the company. They are generating profit. In contrast to them, Lucas has demonstrated to be ineffective and weak. Lucas's manager, Victor, tells him, while in that panic, his office security Lucas observed Oliver protesting for his money. Seeing him, Lucas gets a nervous breakdown. He calls Oliver and contractor Leon to his office. Oliver tells his son Milo Lucas goes to Oliver's workplace. Lucas presents boxing gloves to Oliver and Leon and says whoever wins, he will listen to him. Oliver doesn't want to fight. He merely wants his money, which is only $42,000. Lucas replies to him, but when Oliver doesn't raise his hand, Lucas provokes Leon. So Leon defeats Oliver horribly. Milo is insulted by his father. Poor Milo keeps seeing his poor father's situation while crying. Oliver also knows how to cry when he is helpless. So he thinks about something and sends his kid Milo home via cab, and walks towards Lucas's office. After a while, Seo-do gets a call from Milo that his father Oliver has been admitted to the hospital, who is in a coma. Seo-do arrives at the hospital and finds out from Milo that Oliver has fallen down the stairs. The local police present Seo-do Oliver's last message, which he had sent to his wife, which is basically a suicide note, claiming he is fed up with life and jumping from the top and surrendering his life. Seo-do believes that Oliver must have committed suicide because he didn't get the money. But the firm is equally at fault. The local police tell Seo-do that the singing company has nothing to do with Oliver. His contract was with Leon's company. The real cause behind Oliver's suicide is the bet. But when Seo-do speaks to Milo, he finds out that Lucas called Oliver to his office and harshly humiliated him. So as a friend, Seo-do starts investigating the situation. But the case is not under his, but it is within control of some other police station. So meddling in his case is not permissible. The police officer doesn't like it. So now Seo-do walks straight to his office to talk to Lucas. Or Victor stops him. And Lucas also refuses to talk to him. Or Lucas takes out his frustration on his boxing partner and breaks his leg in the middle of the practice. Seeing Oliver's matter escalate, Lucas is in strain. From Victor's and Lucas's chats, it is apparent that Oliver did not commit suicide. But the matter is something different. That's why he's terrified. He's afraid in his mind. Lucas tells Victor that he doesn't want an issue, thus the subject should be handled perfectly. So now Victor offers recompense to Oliver's wife. Seo-do goes to stop him. Victor explains to Seo-do that he shouldn't take hatred with powerful people. Seo-do just wants his friend Oliver to get justice, and whatever the case is, it should be solved in front of the lawyers. Not among themselves, but with the activity of the singing company, Seo-do starts to suspect that something is awry. So now the strategy to exert pressure on Seo-do is made by Lucas and Victor. So Lucas personally goes and talks to the superintendent. So now the commissioner calls Seo-do and Samuel to his office and cautions them not to intervene in other people's situations. So now Seo-do is given a prostitution case, which is given to an unskilled police officer. So on the other hand, Victor tries to bribe Seo-do's wife to tell her husband to keep away from the case. But Seo-do's wife is honest like him. So she taunts Victor and refuses to take a bribe. Then she rushes to the office and taunts Seo. Do that, what is he doing? Hey. He is being bribed with a backpack full of money. Now Seo-do gets irritated and goes to the place where Lucas is having dinner with his foreign guest. He replies to Lucas, I told you earlier, don't do something that will get you in trouble. Seo-do says to Lucas, what you did with Oliver is the same punishment. You apologize to him honestly, give recompense to his family, and conclude the situation. This humiliation in front of his foreign guest pains Lucas greatly. Here Seo-do catches one of his press reporter buddies and urges him to publish Oliver's case in the paper through his piece. So on the opposite side, Victor sees Leon and asks him for a few days. Leon tells Victor to leave the nation. Leon tells Victor to leave the nation for a 2-bit police officer. This is foolishness. It's better to kill that police officer. He has several thugs from the Philippines. They can be granted a contract to kill Seo-do. No one will know anything. Victor doesn't like Leon's suggestion. So here Paul finds out that Lucas is the reason why his company's name is being put in the news. So he calls Lucas to his office, and the punishment for Lucas's misdeeds is given to Victor. Because of Victor's incompetence, the problem is growing serious. Paul instructs Lucas to prepare to leave the country. He cautions Lucas that now he has created a problem once again. So now Lucas is absolutely bewildered. He tells Victor to take the same course that Leon proposed. Kill Seo-do. Victor argues to Lucas that killing a police officer would be the biggest mistake. But Lucas is at a loss for words. He feels that if he won't be able to handle a tiny difficulty, how will he be able to run such a massive business? The reporter texts Seo-do that this topic has gone to the top. Thus, it is advisable for him to remain away from this matter. So now Seo-do rushes to his office to interview Leon, where he finds out from his secretary that Leon is undercover. Here, Paul, through the prosecutor, puts the people involved in the internal matters behind Seo-do. The persons interested in the internal affairs pick Seo-do as a corner and disclose his prior case, that he beat up criminals, and that he takes a tonsure from them. Seo-do recognizes that this is penance for his honesty. Samuel, with his identity Seo-do, was saved from the clutches of internal affairs. Then Seo-do receives a phone call from Leon's secretary stating Leon is trying to escape his nation and run, but he is a trap for Leon and Victor. So now Seo-do walks alone to the place told to Year to catch Leon. But now his boss Samuel's with him in this fight. When Leon and his goons attack Seo-do, Seo-do's entire crew starts fighting with them. Seo-do's colleague gets gravely injured. Seo-do races away and captures Leon. Now the case is open for Lucas. A police officer has been injured. There has been fighting at the police station, and then the commissioner enters the room and declares to Samuel and his team that the guilty in this instance has to be punished. Now he received complete permission. He may not be able to handle Oliver's case, but he can examine the attack on his colleague. Now, when Leon's car is examined, he finds a bag full of money in the trunk. Seo-do now plans to trace which bank issued the cash initially. Then he will check all the CCTV video of the Sinjin company and all the calls made to the emergency services on the day of Oliver's suicide. Now, seeing the situation developing, so on the other hand, Oliver's wife visits Seo-do and informs him that she suspects that the suicide message she received from Oliver's phone that day was not done by Oliver but by someone else. Because Oliver never used full stop in his message, which was not used in that communication, it has been used several times. Here, Singin's chairman Paul also understands that now there is only one option to save his son Lucas and the company from defamation. The complete blame should be thrown on someone else. For this, he picks Victor. Paul promises Victor and agrees. Victor doesn't have a choice either, so he accepts Oliver's suicide and the police attack in front of the police. Seo-do finds out about all this, thus his plot to send Lucas to jail is entirely destroyed. This time too, the money won. By promoting Commissioner Samuel, he silences him. To take action against Lucas? And they have no evidence. That's when Dolly tells Seo-do that on the day Oliver committed suicide, 2 calls were made to the emergency services. The first call was made at 11:22 p.m., but it was cut off before the phone was answered. The caller indicated that he had made a mistake in his call. So the second call was made at 11:40 p.m. from the same spot, and an ambulance was sent. But Oliver's wife, who had been sent a suicide message, it was done at 11:37. The first call had come from Lucas's personal bodyguard's phone, and after delivering Oliver to the hospital, the suicide scene had been fully cleansed. Now Seo-do and the whole crew comprehend the complete setup of Oliver's suicide. Seo-do currently travels to jail to meet Victor. And he tells her what happened that day. He tells her, "You beat Oliver to death with a lion." Oliver sent his son home. Then he got irritated and went to Lucas's office to apologize for his disrespect. Lucas thrashed him and he was seriously damaged. Thinking that Oliver was dead, Lucas's bodyguard summoned the emergency services immediately. But you cut that call. Then you conspired with Oliver's suicide. You sent a suicide message to his wife on Oliver's phone and flipped Oliver upside down. But regrettably, Oliver survived. So now Victor asks Seo-do if he has proof of all this. So now Seo-do presents the same bodyguard in front of Victor, who had made that emergency call and Lucas had injured his leg during training. What the hell? Seo-do says to Victor that you will rot in jail for at least 13 years for Lucas's crime. Victor says to Seo-do that 13 years is my investment. I am going to get a lot in return. On that, Seo-do remarks to him that you have invested in the incorrect spot. You should have invested in me, because I am such a cop who is following someone. Victor tells Seo-do that Lucas is departing Singapore by tomorrow a.m. You just have tonight. Seo-do from Lucas's bodyguard knows that Lucas is organizing a party for his buddies tonight. So now Seo-do goes to the commissioner with Samuel to ask for authorization to catch Lucas. Samuel tells the commissioner that drugs will be consumed in the party so Lucas can be taken into custody for his crimes. But the commissioner is anxious that if narcotics are not found in the party, his chair can be at risk. So now Samuel and Seo-do show the commissioner the wounds on his body and declare that they endangered their lives for the department. And they are not even given a chance to arrest the perpetrator. So now the commissioner explains to them that not for narcotics, but you can raid the party with prostitution supply. Now Dominique and her staff start keeping a watch on the party's venue from all sides. Lucas comes to the gathering at night. He starts getting high. Then Lucas's ex-girlfriend comes to argue with him. She is pregnant. She has Lucas's child in her womb. Seo-doo's crew realizes that if he creates an issue, Lucas will leave the party, and their plan to catch Lucas will also be chaos. So now Seo-do and Samuel have to battle. Lucas attacks the party with his team. So within